Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. A few days ago, Boothill is finally released and looks like many people are quite happy with his kits. He's super strong, he hits like a truck and pretty useful when it comes to killing bosses. So why I do not recommend you to pull him? Without further ado, let's jump into it.
Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here is a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and honkaistarrail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform, saving 20% for all orders compared with the official channel, and an extra 5% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy a pack for 3000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have cost $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in less than 3 minutes. Our recharge will be done through the official channel with miHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount.
Boothill is an extremely strong and self-sufficient shield target decimator. He's an entirely break-focused character specializing in dealing extreme amounts of toughness damage and subsequently exploding broken enemies with raw break damage. In the event that an enemy is not weak to physical, Boothill's ultimate has guaranteed weakness implant on it, allowing him to brute force his way through any enemy that does not lock their own toughness bar. He's very versatile and effective. Boothill's skill forces him and a single enemy to have a standoff for 2 of Boothill's turns. Both units are taunted and may not attack any other unit. During standoff, Boothill receives 15% more damage from the taunted enemy, and the taunted enemy receives up to 30% more damage from Boothill. If Boothill breaks the target or defeats them, he gets a stack of pocket trick shot and standoff will end. If he kills and breaks in a single action, he will gain 2 stacks. Boothill can circumvent the taunt with his ultimate, letting him prime a new enemy in advance while he finishes off his current one. But that's a little further down. Boothill's talent is the centerpiece of his break kit. It gives him bonuses for having stacks of pocket trick shot granted from his skill. Each stack will increase the toughness damage of the enhanced basic attack by 50% for a max of 150% at 3 stacks. This results in the enhanced basic attack dealing a total of 150 toughness damage, the same as Argente's level 2 ultimate. This results in Boothill very quickly deleting enemy toughness bars and leaving them wondering what just happened. Ordinarily, this wouldn't do much on its own, but his talent has a second part. If the target is weakness broken when you use the enhanced basic, Boothill pulls out scary guns to blow the enemy sky high, dealing an instance of break damage to the enemy based on the number of stacks of pocket trick shot. Of course, the other disadvantage pure break characters have is that if enemies aren't weak to their chosen element, you can't do anything. If you are still worried about that, enter Boothill's ultimate. He will apply a physical weakness to a single enemy for 2 turns and deals up to 400% attack as damage. Additionally, he will delay their next action by up to 40%. This is guaranteed weakness implant. There is absolutely no dice rolling or evac hit rate requirement. It just does the thing. The delay is also incredible since it can also be used to extend the length of time an enemy stays broken, giving him even longer to fill their dark soul with light. With this, Boothill can realistically contend with any enemy in the game that does not lock their toughness bar. Sure, against non-physical weak enemies, Boothill's success will depend on his ultimate uptime. But guess what? He gets a lot of energy and his ultimate only costs 115 energy. If your Boothill is particularly fast, it's very reasonable to expect that you can keep the ultimate's weakness in plan up pretty much 100% of the time on a major enemy. The only enemies fast enough to potentially outpace this are naturally weak to physical anyway. In terms of teammates, Boothill actually has a lot of options because of his self-contained kit, but there are unsurprising features when it comes to his best choices. Bronya in particular is a great support for him because more actions for Boothill significantly increases his damage output and will also facilitate his absurd toughness damage to get enemies primed for maximum damage more quickly. Ruanmei also achieves a similar effect through her weakness break efficiency, albeit at slightly less overall impact, since Ruanmei's speed boost is far lower than the effective speed Bronya can provide with her 100% action advance. And 2 turns of 150 toughness is more than a single turn of 225. Bronya is more SP intensive, but Boothill's natural SP efficiency can counteract that. Supports that affect enemy defense or resistance are also very good for Boothill. This is another point for Ruanmei thanks to her ultimate. But it also includes the likes of Pilla and Silver Wolf. Both of these Nihility debuffers can reduce enemy defense quite easily and consistently, greatly improving the break damage Boothill can do. Lastly, the absolute best choices for a sustain for Boothill are the aforementioned Gallagher and Aventurine. Gallagher's talent is just straight up increases the team's break damage by up to 12%, and the only cost of this is doing what you were already going to be doing. Gallagher himself also deals a silly amount of toughness damage, so especially if the enemy is weak to fire, he's a great pick, and he's a 4-star character, so he is quite accessible. Aventurine is pretty universally good, but you are more likely to be using him with Boothill if you are looking to maximize the benefits of river flows in spring, the light cons from before. Okay, after you are listening to my early review, let's talk about his value. I will point out the best thing about him right here. First, he is an outstanding single target DPS, maybe one of the best single target DPS right now. He also has an extreme amounts of toughness damage every single action, making the enemy is easier to get weakness broken. He can implant physical weakness into enemies with his ultimate and technique, making him more universal. His build is break focus, means he is easier to build. You don't need to put many stats on him, since he already has awesome traces which increase his critical rate and critical damage. He also very self-sufficient and versatile and has a lot of good and accessible teammates options. He also more SP efficient than most DPS characters. And lastly, for a certain player who need the best single target DPS, he is the best choice right now, since the upcoming characters will filled with AoE units. Okay, now let's move on into the main topics of this video. Why you don't need Boothill? I think it's quite simple. Yes, he's good at boss killing, but for another content like Pure Fiction, he has no place at all. Do not put him on Pure Fiction, just don't. He's extremely level dependent for both his bonus abilities and his break damage. He also quite literally useless against enemies that can lock their toughness bar, like Yanqing for the example. He's hugely ultimate reliant if you trying to brute force contend with him. Of course, you can bring him to brute force against non-weakness enemies, but you will depend a lot with his ult. When your ult is not up, then you need to wait till your ult is ready. And lastly, since he is a DPS role, he is easier to get power creep from Hoyoverse. Now let's discuss about the upcoming banners in update 2.3. Like we've already know, 1 May, Firefly, Wowo or Argendi, and Jade is coming in a few weeks. This will bring us so many options to choose from. First is 1 May. 1 May is one of the best support right now. Like everyone else is using her literally everywhere, from MOC, Pure Fiction, main story, especially when the upcoming break meta is popping out starting from next update. Firefly also a great choice to pull. She is unique, she can heal, she can do a super break damage by herself. Also, she is a great choice when paired with 1 May and Harmony main characters. On top of that, Firefly has a huge fans out there, so I believe many people will pull her right away. Wowo and Jade also a great choice. Each of them has their own uniqueness. Wowo can heal, buffs, also can regenerate energy for all allies. Meanwhile, Jade is also important for follow-up attack teams since she will be a queen of pure victions in the future. A long story short, the upcoming banners is filled with cool units. Before you decided to pull for a Boothill, I suggest you to think twice which one is the most important for you right now. If you think you do really need a single target DPS who can synergize with a break team, then go for him. But if you need the best support for your break team, then I suggest you to pull 1 May in the upcoming patches. 1 May is a really good unit, trust me. Okay, we have come a long way, so here is my thoughts. Boothill is a really good character. So far, he is an outstanding single target DPS. For me personally, he is a slightly better than Dr. Ratio, who also a single target DPS. Why? Because Boothill can do a weakness broken enemy easily, and when you pair him with Harmony main character, then you will get a super nice combination. Basically, I like everything about him. Enough said. But unfortunately, if you are a new player in this game and still don't have many good units, I do not recommend you to pull him. Yes, he is good and maybe he's the best unit for a single target DPS right now, but I really suggest you to look for another core unit which can be useful in every content, like 1 May for the example. She can be used on many contents like MOZ and Pure Fiction. So I think if you are a new player, then choose her instead. Okay guys, that's everything about my thoughts on Boothill. And what do you think? Please leave your comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to check out my another guide video. Thank you for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.